Shadows of Love. My name is Elena. I'm 40 years old. I have two beautiful children. My husband, Daniel, is 45. We've been married for 18 long years. Years that started like a dream but slowly turned into a quiet storm. When I first met Daniel, I was enchanted. He had a laugh that made people turn their heads and a kind heart that embraced everyone around him. When he said, "I love you," it felt like the world paused to let me savor those words. I believed him with all my heart. We were young, foolish, and madly in love. 2 years after our wedding, we had our first child, a boy named Aiden. He was full of energy, sharp as a blade, and always laughing. 2 years later, our daughter, Layla, came into our lives. Layla was gentle, always humming a tune, her voice like birdsong on a quiet morning. Life was good. Daniel worked hard, and I stayed home, pouring all my love into our children. I cooked meals, cleaned our little home, taught the kids their ABCs, and read them bedtime stories. At night, Daniel would kiss my forehead and whisper, "You're my world." And I would fall asleep believing I was truly loved. But time has a cruel way of unveiling the truth. As the years passed, Daniel changed. Slowly at first, coming home later than usual, his smiles growing fewer, his eyes distant. He traveled often, always with vague reasons. "It's work," he'd say, brushing off my questions. And then one day, he stopped saying, "I love you." I asked, "Why are you always so far away?" He replied coldly, "I'm doing this for the family. Stop questioning me." I wanted to scream, to cry, to make him see how much I was hurting. But I stayed quiet. Because I still loved him. Because I wanted to believe he would come back to me. Emotionally, not just physically. 7 years ago, Daniel left for another business trip. I was organizing his drawer when I found them, 2 plane tickets. One was for him. The other was for someone named Clara. I stared at the name, unable to breathe. My hands trembled, my heart cracked. I cried for 3 days without stopping. Not because I was weak, but because I was devastated. When he returned, I confronted him. "Who is Clara?" "She's nobody," he said. "Don't worry about it." I didn't believe him, but I nodded. I wanted to keep my family together. Aiden was only 3. How could I destroy his world? The years after that were like living with a ghost. Daniel still traveled, still lied, still smiled at the kids but never at me. I became hollow. I cleaned the house, but it no longer felt like home. I made meals, but not with love, only duty. Then fate did something unexpected. One rainy afternoon, I bumped into someone from my past, Noah. He was my old college friend, someone I had lost touch with over the years. I saw him stepping out of his car, gently holding an umbrella over his wife, helping her with her coat. His gestures were so simple, yet so filled with love. This, I thought, this is care. This is love. Noah and I started talking again. He was kind, just like I remembered. He asked, "How are you, Elena?" "I'm fine," I replied, even though I wasn't. But he could see through me. He said, "You matter. You're strong, Elena. Don't forget that." And for the first time in years, I smiled. I laughed. I felt alive again. For 3 months, we talked. We didn't cross any boundaries. I didn't want diamonds or promises. I just wanted to feel human again. I wanted to feel seen. But secrets never stay buried. Daniel found out. He came home one night, rage in his eyes. "Why did you do this?" he shouted. "Because I was lonely." I screamed back. "Because I needed love." We argued for hours. He cried. I cried. He said, "Please don't leave. I love you." I stared at him, numb. "Why now?" I asked. "Why after 18 years?" "I didn't know you were hurting," he whispered. One night, not long after, I got very sick. I was rushed to the hospital. Fever, weakness, pain, it consumed me. Daniel stayed by my side the whole night, holding my hand tightly. "Don't leave me," he said. "I love you." Those words hit me like a wave. the second time in 18 years. But I couldn't trust them anymore. Back at home, things remained complicated. Daniel tried. He made small efforts, washing dishes, taking out the trash, sitting with me for breakfast. He asked, "Do you need anything?" And I noticed. I did. But my heart wasn't the same. I was living with a man who had once shattered me. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend overnight. One evening, I sat at the dinner table with Aiden and Layla. They laughed as they talked about school. I watched them, thinking, they have no idea how heavy my heart feels. After dinner, I asked Aiden, "Do you think your dad and I are happy?" He looked surprised. "I don't know, Mom. You're always nice to each other, but sometimes you seem sad." Layla added, "Mom, I just want us to stay together. I don't want anything to change." Their innocence pierced through my soul. I wanted to protect them, but I couldn't keep pretending forever. I decided to see Noah one last time. When he saw me, he smiled. "How are you?" "I'm trying to fix my life," I said. "You will," he replied. "You're strong, Elena. And you deserve to be loved." "I won't forget you," I said. "You reminded me that I matter." We hugged. And then I walked away, knowing it was goodbye forever. That night, I sat with Daniel. I looked into his eyes and said, "Do you really want this marriage to work?" "Yes," he said. "I made mistakes, but I want to stay." "Can you leave, Clara?" I asked. "Can you love me the way I need?" "I'll try." "No," I replied. "Trying is not enough. I need you to mean it." He nodded. From that day, he made more effort. We took walks. We talked about the weather, about Aiden's soccer games and Layla's music class. Slowly, I saw flickers of hope. But forgiveness wasn't easy. Some nights I'd lie awake, remembering the tears I cried, the name Clara printed in black ink, the silence that replaced love. But I also thought of Noah, of how I, too, had wandered in search of affection. None of us were perfect. One morning, I looked in the mirror and whispered, "Elena, you made mistakes, but you're still worthy of love." And that was the first step toward peace. Daniel and I are still together. We're not perfect. Some days feel like we're healing. Other days feel like we're strangers again. He says he loves me, but I still carry doubt. So I focus on what matters most, my children. I smile for them, even when it's hard. I take long walks alone. I read books. I started writing in a journal again. And slowly, I learned to love myself. One rainy afternoon, I wrote a letter to myself. "Dear Elena, you are strong. You are kind. You are enough. Life will hurt. People will fail you. But you will rise. Love yourself first. That's where peace begins. You deserve joy. Never forget that." I keep this letter in my drawer. And whenever sadness finds me again, I read it. It reminds me that I am not broken, just healing. This journey taught me many things. That love isn't just words. It's action, care, presence. That mistakes don't define us, they shape us. That pain, no matter how deep, can lead to growth. Most of all, I learned that I'm stronger than I ever imagined. Maybe my story doesn't end in a fairy tale, but it's real. And in that reality, I found something more powerful than perfection. I found myself.